760 presents Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ule Agbayani.
Good morning, beautiful people. It's Wake Up in the Den. I'm Ku'ule Agbayani alongside Paul Brecht on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, and hawaiisportsradio.com, and streaming live on our YouTube channel. So hello for everyone tuning in. And why are we live on YouTube as opposed to our usual Mondays? Because we've got some special guests in the house this morning. Former University of Hawaii Rainbow Wahine basketball players MeiLani McBee and Kelsie Imai. Woo! Hello, ladies. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I know it's a little early, and I know you guys are done with school and everything already, and it's your summer to enjoy, but we appreciate you guys for coming out and joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Can come a little closer to the microphone. Talk to all the beautiful people. There you go. There you go.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys feeling this morning?
Good. I mean, it's been a while since we've been up. Yeah, I have not been up this early in a while, so.
And that's why we appreciate you. And I was telling you when I was texting you to try to plan this, like, oh, what time do you guys want to come in? I know 8's kind of early, but that would be ideal. So again, we appreciate you guys for what would be your normal weekday plans here in the summer?
Probably wake up by like 9:30,
9:30.
maybe.
That's early. I mean, like, it depends on what I'm going to do that day.
Yeah.
I try to be up by 10 at the latest, but some days.
I actually try and be up to be productive, but then it never ends up happening.
Yeah.
It's okay. I know how that is too. But what has been kind of just your summer plans? Is it just regrouping from now college being over, or what's kind of going on for you guys in general this summer?
Well, actually, I took a trip to Australia, and I was with Jade for a bit and BK, so I was with them like last week. So that was like my biggest summer plan after school.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't done anything really big. Just kind of getting my life together in a sense. I had to move out of my apartment, move into my auntie's house, and just figuring out what I'm going to do now. Figuring out life after college, which has been a roller coaster,
Yeah.
but we're figuring it out.
Yeah.
So.
I get it. I 100% get it. I left college during the time of the recession in 08, 09, and just you're already trying to figure things out. And then on top of the craziness with economies, I 100% understand. But before we get into your future plans and everything, let's go ahead and take a trip down memory lane. Hopefully we can remember everything that has gone on. But, we'll start with you, MeiLani, because we haven't really had extensive conversations with you. We've had Kelsie on a couple of times with Hawaii Players Pod, and I know Zora recently had you on, but we never really got to hear too much from you, May. So if you could just tell us real quick your story, your quick basketball story journey, and like what even got you into the sport of basketball.
Well, I actually didn't like basketball growing up. Yeah, so my mom forced me to play all the sports, and I think I really enjoyed soccer, and I also did ballet when I was younger. But then I fell in love with the game after watching like my cousins, because we all grew up watching basketball, and they all played basketball, and I went for like a week-long trip and watched her play during like her AAU span, and I was sitting on the sidelines like yelling, screaming, like telling her to do this at the ripe age of 10 years old when I had no idea. And I came back and I was like, Mom, I want to play basketball. And so I've been playing basketball ever since I was 5. And then I got here, so.
I love it. And ever since you fell in love with the game, huh? And are you, does your sister still play, or did you scare her out of playing?
No, I don't have a sister. My cousin. No. She still ended up playing, and she actually went to Colorado State Pueblo. And she is a Hall of Famer there. So kudos to her. Yeah, my biggest inspiration right there.
Wow. And then, so talk to us a little bit too about your recruiting journey and what led you to play here for the University of Hawaii.
It's actually crazy because Hawaii was never in my thought process, like right around like freshman, sophomore year. And then at the end of my sophomore year going into my junior year, I was like, I really want to go to Hawaii. Like, that's where I want to go. And I also wanted to get away from, like, my family just so I could grow up a little bit. And I've always been an independent person, so coming here was the right move for me. And it was AAU. There was an AAU tournament in Arizona, I think in April. And Beeman had seen me play, and I had no idea she was in the stands until my coach was like, we're going to, after that game, did you see anyone particular in the stands? I was like, no, I don't pay attention to the coaches sitting there. Like, I'm here to play basketball.
Good answer.
That's a great answer.
And so he, after one of our team dinners, he was like, well, Beeman would like to talk to you tomorrow. And it was the final day, so we were leaving anyway the next day. And so I got a phone call from Beeman, and then she offered me right then and there. And I was in the hotel room on the ground against the bed. I was like, oh my gosh, like, are you, like, is this real? And so from then on, I was like, all right, I'm going to Hawaii. I'm going to play basketball for University of Hawaii. So
That's awesome. So no wavering or anything. It was always set that early on that it was going to be the University of Hawaii.
yeah, I had other colleges in mind because I did want to stay close to home. But then after, like, my mom had always wanted us to go to Hawaii, and I was like, nah, I don't want to go. But then after my junior year, I was like, actually, I do want to go. So I'm very blessed that I was honored the opportunity to play here.
Yeah, and how much of that decision, too, was weighted on the fact that you do have Polynesian ties and family ties here in Hawaii? Did that help with the decision, or did you, again, already know that it was going to be Hawaii? And if that was, how much of a bonus is that just to be closer to the culture here?
Yeah, it was a little bit of both. I got to meet my family on my grandma's side that we hadn't met before. And so getting closer to them, and, like, I actually said my goodbyes yesterday. So it was really sad but bittersweet to... Yeah, I know. It was bittersweet, but I'm glad I came and got to know them and grow up with them a little bit, so I'll always come back.
And coming back here now to the University of Hawaii, I know you guys have told this story a lot, but it's always fun. And we don't know if there's going to be an audience that haven't heard this story yet. But talk to us a little bit about how you guys got here during the COVID time, and tell that story about when you first met each other here playing for the University of Hawaii.
Well, we first met on Zoom.
On Zoom.
Yeah, I was at home, and we all had a Zoom call with Beeman, Nena, Deja, Tiani, and we were talking. She gave us like a homework assignment during the summer before we came, and it just was like, what was it again? It was basically like, how do you want to win, or it was like some things like that. But then when I came on island, my very first time meeting Kelsie was, hi, Kelsie, waving from the window, and she's on the sidewalk because I had to quarantine for 14 days.
They were all in quarantine, and I was at a hotel near. Wasn't I in like a parking garage or something? Like I could
think
see.
so, yeah.
And I was like, wait, guys, look to your right. Like, this is me. I'm like, but yeah, it was fun.
And then when did you guys kind of finally actually get to interact after quarantine was done? And then just describe maybe, the instant, like, were you guys friends right away? And because I know this story of you and Ashley is kind of funny because it was like, who is this girl? Right? So was it the same with you guys, or were you guys kind of like instantly friends?
Well, we would like chat, like we would text and Snapchat each other before we came up just so we kind of knew who we were and whatnot. But I remember I was already moved into the dorms. I had moved in before they had came because they were doing their whole quarantine and whatnot. But I remember them coming in, and I remember like walking in the hallway, and I knew like they were gonna be tall, but I was like, this girl is tall, and that was only MeiLani, and then I met Nena guys, Deja guys, and whatnot. But we became friends.
It was pretty close, just because I was already like chill and laid back, and I already felt like I was kind of part of the island in that way.
Yeah,
and so we were like, you want to go to the beach?
And she was the only one that would go to the beach.
Yeah, I was the only one that would go to the beach because Nena didn't like the beach.
Nena, Deja
didn't like the beach.
Yeah,
Nena didn't know how to swim, first of all. She learned how to swim, though, eventually, but she didn't know.
I was like,
I don't know.
Did you guys teach her how to swim at least?
At one point, we started teaching her. I forget what beach it was, but we were like, how to paddle. Yeah, it was crazy.
We spent a lot of time like in the dorms. We would hang out upstairs, play cards. I mean, because it's not like we could make a lot of friends. The only people that were on campus were athletes.
We're athletes. I remember in the summer dorm though, you guys would always be in my room.
Yeah, we'd go to MeiLani's room.
TikTok dances. We'd just be doing whatever because it was quarantine. So like we couldn't do anything, and it was COVID. So we had to make the most out of what we had.
It was fun though.
Oh, it was fun.
That sounds like, you know, when we're coming back from break, Paul, and we have the bump music, we might have to have the girls stand up and do like a TikTok dance. We'll dance with you. Everyone knows that we dance too,
dance.
so we'll
I
just
don't know
like
if anybody's
dance
doing
coming
TikTok
back
dance
from break.
on this one today.
I need to stretch first. This body old.
Right, like, whoa. Let's not talk about the old bodies over here. Come on now. As we are joined in studio by former Rainbow Wahine basketball players Kelsie Imai and MeiLani McBee. All right, talk to us just a little bit about maybe going through that first season and how it was to just not have the fans, right? It's not exactly something that you guys had expected beforehand coming over. Like when you got your first offer, you're like, wow, this is going to be great, like going into play collegiate basketball. So tell us a little bit about how that first season was for you guys, like as the season went along.
It was crazy.
It was crazy.
But we had so I can't lie, we had fun though.
We did have fun. There was a point though where it was like, oh my gosh, like this is really serious. Like I don't know if we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
But
after we came out of our first quarantine as a team, and Beeman was like,
no, the second one.
the second was it the?
Well,
it was the second.
technically the first one with everyone. Yeah.
And she was like who doesn't want to play? Like,
yeah. Because there was already one school that had opted out from this season.
it was CSUN.
It was CSUN.
CSUN had she was asking if we wanted to opt out and whatnot, and we all were like, no.
Yeah, but it was just crazy. Like
It was just like,
I had it worse though because I had to quarantine like 5 different times,
Oh my gosh.
and so I was so out of shape and had to get in shape really fast, and that did not work out very well. But it ended up playing cards. So
it was an experience. I feel like I enjoyed it because we were forced to like hang out. We couldn't leave the hotel room.
oh yeah.
We could only see each other, so it's like we were all super close in that sense.
I was just thinking about the time when we were in quarantine.
We quarantined together for her second time, but my first
second time.
One of the 5 times.
One of the 5 times.
No,
Yes,
two
correct.
of 5. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Was this like coming back from a road trip, or what was
No.
it then when you had to quarantine in there, Kelsie?
We had just finished weights in the morning, and then we were all getting ready to practice, do our like evening workout, and then all of a sudden we get a text from our trainers saying, "So no one's allowed to be on campus right now. Like you guys need to go home. There's been a positive COVID test." And we were like, "Oh my gosh! Like, is this real?" And then it ended up being Alex.
Coach?
He got COVID.
It's so funny because it's like, obviously we can laugh about it now, but
Yeah,
then you're
because
like,
everybody's
"What?"
okay.
Yeah. And then that was that quarantine. And then obviously, like when we had to go on the road, we had to test like the day after we got there in order to come back on island. And so there was a mix up of my test results on the road. And we actually had to get the game got canceled because it was back-to-back games during COVID.
I think I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah, so we had it was Irvine. We had just played Irvine the day before. And then that next morning, we got a text saying the game's canceled. There's been a false positive on the team.
Or inconclusive.
Inconclusive. That's what it was. It was an inconclusive test. And we were like, oh my gosh, like, who is it? Who is it? And there was speculation that it was Nana.
She was crying.
Yeah, so Nana was crying. I was like, I'm so sorry, guys. Like, I promise I don't feel sick. And then it ended up being my test. And then I ended up having, me and my roommate Barb at the time, we ended up having to stay in California while they all left back to island because I had to test out of it. Yeah. So I was in California for like an extra, 4 days maybe?
Yeah, because we ended up coming back last minute.
Yeah, they came back because then we had a game the following week. So me and Barb were in California for like 2.5 weeks. No, 3, because then
you guys were there for like a month, because when we did that, we did back-to-back road games. So we were up there for 2 weeks alone.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What a time. Thankfully, we are far removed from that time. And
Yeah,
it's
thank
not
goodness.
happen again. That would explain all the multiple times you have to get stuck in that. So, welcome to college basketball. Hey.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
time. All right, we're going to take a break. And again, we are joined in studio by former Rainbow Wahine basketball players MeiLani McBee and Kelsie Imai. So, don't go anywhere. The conversation continues on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network.
Back to more Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ule Agbayani on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Wake Up in the Den. Ku'ule Agbayani and Paul Brecht on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, and hawaiisportsradio.com. And streaming live right now on our YouTube channel. So be sure you guys come and join us, because we are joined in studio by former Rainbow Wahine basketball players MeiLani McBee and Kelsie Imai. We are continuing our trip down memory lane now, as both of you guys are all pal, not just with basketball, but with school, but we are still reflecting back on some of the memories. So if you guys could share maybe some of the memories that stand out for each of you as it deals with both basketball, maybe a memory or two when it relates to basketball, and then a memory or two when it just relates to the last 5 years.
You want to do the COVID story?
Ooh,
Our quarantine
I like
story.
Okay. Well, back to when we had a quarantine for like the first time as a team, when Coach Alex got sick.
We were quarantined together.
We were quarantined together, and they would bring us food from like the school or something.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that there was like a shoyu packet and like a little butter packet in the container. So I just threw it in the microwave to warm it up. And I'm sitting there, and Kelsie goes, "May, something's burning."
I was like, what does that smell? Like,
And
it
I'm like,
stinks.
"What do you mean something's burning? Like, I don't smell nothing." And she goes, "No, like, something's burning bad." So then she goes to the microwave and she opens it up and there's like, was there a little smoke coming out of the thing?
Yeah.
There was a little smoke coming out of the microwave. And she opens it up and sure enough, but why would they put the shoyu packet and the butter packet underneath like all of the food? So like I had no idea it was even in there.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you could smell it, but
I was like, Kelsie, I can't smell anything. And she goes, oh no. And we didn't tell anyone that we were starting to get symptoms of COVID.
I mean, like, I felt sick, but I was like, oh, like, it's just from laying in bed all day. Like, this is horrible. But then, like, a day later.
Yeah, a day later, my auntie had dropped off food, and it was like, you know the little, like, kimchi ramen bowls that you can just throw in the microwave? So I had those, and Kelsie warmed that one up, and she was eating it, and she goes, MeiLani, I can't taste this, but my lips are burning. So then we were just sitting in the hotel room, like, just sick. With COVID, and we didn't tell anyone because if we would have got separated.
Oh, so you guys just kind of endured it together.
We endured it together.
Okay.
And then we would have been on like a different protocol too during like practices and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it probably was
definitely not the best decision we made.
We could have probably.
It could have been serious.
Yeah.
Because as soon as we got out, we were like hardcore like running, and some of the girls who did end up having COVID, as well as Alex, were like not put in extraneous running, and we were like, maybe we should have told.
I'm dying right now. But like, I was like, I don't want to be alone. I think we're only like a week into.
I don't even think we were a week. It was probably like 4 days.
Yeah.
4 or 5 days in. So.
Yeah, we had some fun on that balcony.
We won't speak about that one. I might get in trouble, so we can't speak on that. But that's one of the cool memories I have. But I think like on the court, I think the back-to-back winnings, I think that was a pretty cool experience to have. And then obviously like, this is gonna be hard. Senior night was definitely one to remember. So at least for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of on that topic, I suppose, I'm curious, starting your careers during COVID where you don't have the fans, I mean, let's be honest, on top of you, right, where it is such a special place here in Hawaii, as you see, what did it mean to you guys to have the fan support that continued to grow and come out over the years as your careers went on? I mean, Beeman's Big Bash and to set the record under her and stuff like that, to have that type of support. What did that mean to you after starting your careers, especially where maybe it was a little, or not even a little, a lot quieter inside the Stan Sheriff Center?
I mean, for like our first year, it wasn't horrible. Like,
No, it wasn't. Yeah, it might have been bad just because it was like COVID in that sense, but we still had fun with each other.
Yeah, we had fun with each other. We celebrated each other more because we knew that's all we had. But I felt like it took a lot of pressure off of me because I was like, oh, there's nobody really here watching me. Like, this is practice, realistically. Yeah. But it was super cool to see the stands fill up and whatnot. And then I feel like sophomore year is like when you get the fan experience and it's like a whole thing. Like, that's everything you dream of. So that was.
And then years after that, that's when it started getting more crowded. And we were like, oh my gosh, like, we're actually pretty good. Like, we're actually pretty good at this. So,
yeah.
But the fan support has been awesome, at least for my time being here. Like,
yeah, 100%.
Love you guys. Like,
miss you guys already.
Yeah.
And I know they're going to miss all of you guys, especially, not only just the talent on the team, but obviously a lot of local talent, and especially for you, May, still having like that tie here to Hawaii, especially, and having your record and everything now. How was that for you when you kind of broke that record?
It was awesome. It was definitely a stress reliever. Obviously, I had wanted to break it earlier in the season, but God planned it the way he did, and so for it to happen on senior night in front of my family, that was really awesome.
I don't know if you remember, but I told you, I was like, when May does it, like, if you see me hysterically crying on the court.
Oh, yeah.
I was
She was, because she was the first person I seen when I came off the court, and so there was like this little moment. It was actually captured in a photo, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is so sad.
I was like, oh, MeiLani, I love you forever.
I love that. What about you, Kels? What is like maybe some of the another basketball memory separate from the COVID? Obviously, you're part of that COVID story, but maybe another basketball memory that stands out to you besides the COVID story, and of course, being so good and so competitive throughout your guys' entire time here and winning those back-to-backs and everything like that. Maybe another. We're liking the fun stories that people don't like to see, and I know our viewers and listeners always enjoy that too. Something that maybe most of us have not heard yet.
Dude, there's just so much. Like, it's hard to think one off the top of my head.
I know, like we've been here for 5 years.
Yeah, I know, there's a lot.
Dang. Kidding. Kidding, guys. Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I think my favorite, like one of my favorite moments, I don't know who we played, but we all like went into the locker room and somebody was playing Unwritten. I think Jackie was playing Unwritten.
Jackie had played Unwritten.
Who did we play?
Who did we play?
Why were we in such a good mood? We must have won.
I think it was that was last year, yeah.
It was last year. I don't know.
I don't remember.
Just like moments like that, like after we win a game and everybody's just in a good mood, and then we're like screaming the song Unwritten.
There was another time when we played Teasing and Hallie scored, and we all came into the locker room and we played. Hallie has a favorite song,
Wipe Me Down.
Wipe Me Down, and that locker room that night was filled with like excitement. Like it was all crazy in the locker room. That was another good moment.
I think I wrote on the board, Hallie for president. I still
Got my
call her my
vote.
president.
Got my vote.
Who wouldn't vote? Hallie Birdsong, like, please. She's a genius.
I was going to say smart.
Yeah, I was going to say, talk to us, elaborate a little bit more about Hallie, because I know we've constantly sung her praises here on this show. We did a Mana Wahine Wednesday feature with her as well, and she has been a lot of the teammates and even Coach Beeman have like referred to her every time when asked about her, how she is the why, right, of this entire team. So maybe share a little bit more about Hallie and what she had brought to the team behind the scenes that maybe people weren't able to see.
Gosh, I love that kid, dude. I got the wonderful experience to be with her in class because me and her both majored in the same thing. So I was with her every day working on like homework assignments. I'd be like, Hallie, like, did you do this? She's like, no, I did it this way. I'm like, well, I probably did it wrong. And so like she kept me sane during all my classes, but like I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have graduated without Hallie. So I'm very grateful to have her in my life.
I love Hallie to death. Like, if there's anybody that I'm going to protect on this team with my whole heart, soul, body, mind, like, it's Hallie. Like, nobody's going to touch Hallie. Nobody's going to mess with Hallie. Like, you say the wrong thing to Hallie, not even everybody knows.
Yeah,
like,
everyone knows.
Hallie is our precious angel on the team.
But also, another fun thing about Hallie is Hallie also don't play around.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I feel like, usually the ones that we want to refer to as, like, the quiet ones, the ones that are sweet, I'm like, she's still a competitive athlete, so I can imagine she has that little fire in her too that people don't see.
She got some of us good in practices most days and being like, we're like, Hallie, where'd you learn how to do that? But no, Hallie don't play.
Yeah, and when Hallie speaks, like, you're gonna listen to Hallie.
You're gonna listen to Hallie.
Because Hallie's not playing around. Like, if you got Hallie mad, you did something wrong.
Yeah, you're in big trouble if Hallie's mad at you. Like.
But it's been so cool to like watch Hallie's growth, because Hallie came in her freshman year as a walk-on. She was very quiet. Like, she wouldn't really talk to us, wouldn't hang around us. We just knew Hallie as like this innocent girl, like minds her business. And I'd say maybe like her third year or her third year.
Yeah.
She like really came out of her shell.
Yeah, her third year.
Yeah, her third year she really came out of her shell and like just showed her personality and everything.
Like anyone could go to Hallie and talk, like, and it would stay between Hallie and the person, and like Hallie just was a very sweet soul.
Hallie for president.
Hallie for
literally
president.
Hallie for president. And if anyone's tuning in just now, we're talking about Hallie Birdsong there from the University of Hawaii, as we are joined in studio by former Rainbow Wahine basketball players MeiLani McBee and Kelsie Imai. But we do need to take a break, so we'll be right back to continue our conversation, and we'll start asking you guys about your future plans. So yeah, because I know you're out of here, like you said, you told us off air, May, that you're out of here on Friday. So we're going to see what you guys are going to be up to next. If you guys have any questions, feel free to chime in on the YouTube chat or text us at 808-888-KGU1. That's 808-888-5481. We'll be right back on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to all of you, the beautifulest of all the beautiful people. It's Wake Up in the Den, Ku'ulei Agbayani and Paul Brecht on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, and streaming live on our YouTube channel. So thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure you like and subscribe, as we are joined in studio by former Rainbow Wahine basketball players MeiLani McBee and Kelsie Imai. All right, we had a fun time going down memory lane a little bit, and we'll probably maybe some other things will come up or two, but I'm sure fans are very curious. Again, we've got to know you guys for the last 5 years, and you've seen the crowds grow over the last 5 years as well. A lot of success between the both of you. But now, unfortunately, like the rest of us have had to do, it's time to go into the adult life. Slowly but surely. So I'm sure, like I said, fans are curious. What are some of your future plans? And I know, May, you're heading out of here on Friday. So tell us a little bit about what comes next.
Yeah, so I leave Friday. I have all day still Friday, so I'll still be here. But I just plan on going home, visiting with family, like catching up on all the times I've missed. And then I plan on starting nursing school come winter quarter at the community college back at home. So until then, I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably have to find a job.
Oh, welcome to our world.
I know.
Nursing school. Ooh,
I am
salute.
excited to go home and see family and hang out with them and catch up, but I will be sad to be leaving. So
So sad. I think it was like last week I asked me, I was like, oh, like, when do you leave? And she told me, and I was like, MeiLani, I'm about to start crying right now. Like, get me off the phone.
You picked me up, that's why, from Australia. That's what
yeah.
happened.
Yeah. Was
And
that
you're
what it
like,
was?
yeah, you're like, don't start with me. I'm about to cry.
No, and then I FaceTimed you another time, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, like, don't leave me.
And I'm like, Kelsie, stop.
Yeah, so it'll be a very sad Friday, but I'm making you come to Cocoa Head on Friday.
Yeah, she's forcing me to hike Cocoa Head
You'll
Friday
sleep well
morning.
on the
That's
flight.
your departing
Yeah.
gift.
Yeah.
You got to go up Cocoa Head on that Friday right before you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. One last time before she goes.
I mean, at least you had somewhat practice. I mean, you had to say goodbye to Tommy, so
Yeah. But, I mean, like, Tommy would come back and see me.
that's true. Yeah.
But, this is real, like,
This is real.
Like, this,
Connection like
Plus,
this
you don't
doesn't
have
come
like
often.
basketball in school to distract you
Yeah.
from someone being away. Yeah.
Yeah, like, this is, like, my last teammate I have on Island, besides Lily and Jovi, but, like, we came in together.
Yeah.
So the fact that she's leaving, like, I'm sick.
Ah.
Don't look at me. Like, to my stomach. I think I was telling my mom, too. I was like, Mom, MeiLani was probably, like, one of my first close friends, and, like, she's just going to up and leave. Like, I don't think that's real. I still I'm really bad at accepting things.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough Friday.
All right. This is a funny one though, coming in on our YouTube.
I was going to
just
say, we
kind
got to
of-
get
just
to the
kind of,
YouTube, get the vibes up.
Yeah, just to
Okay.
kind of break this up a little bit. Again, I knew we would go back to memory lane a little. So I'll tell you who this person is that
Laughing
commented
over
this
here.
on YouTube. And see if maybe you can guess who it is. Actually,
I-
it is a dedicated fan. They are saying MeiLani and Kelsie were low key the biggest trash talkers out of all arena sports. I always looked forward to MeiLani talking to referees under her voice and Kelsie doing when she's small to 6'3" centers.
A little too small.
Is that Ben?
Who is that, Ben?
You see,
Yeah,
I don't even
it's
have Ben would. Ben used to eat that up though. He used
Oh,
to,
yeah.
like, he was the main one
I
talking.
was just about to say he's the main one on the sideline. He's sitting courtside too.
Like, he was talking trash to the players, to the refs.
Came in with shirts on too,
He
like made shirts.
He dedicated.
Hey Ben, why are you shouting out my stuff?
Right.
Ain't nobody need to know all that.
Nobody didn't know MeiLani, like-
Nobody needs to know that. I'm sweet. I'm kind.
I mean, like, everybody knows me. But, like, you don't know that MeiLani. We do. I know that, but, like, damn.
Yeah, I
Ben.
got caught one time. Okay, one time. One time.
Yeah.
And Ben would know too, because he was the one that was always like even traveling to some of the weekend road trips. Like I think going to Fullerton that
I
one time.
convinced him
Yeah.
to come to Fullerton.
I think that's what it was. You were texting him and
You're
he
welcome.
went. Yeah. So he would know out of all the shenanigans that were going on in the smack talk. But but again, no, MeiLani, what? That's not true.
No,
Yeah,
MeiLani would never
who's
do
that?
Kelsie.
Yeah, Kelsie,
Yeah.
you can't hide it, Kelsie.
I was
Very
gonna say.
bad.
Yeah, Kelsie can't hide it.
I'm
But that's
sorry.
okay. We needed that though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she's our bulldog on the team.
There's a picture.
Oh yeah, I actually have the picture because it was after Santa Barbara. The girl tried testing me after
She like tried to grab you.
she
and I
like
was
tried to grab me. And I forgot. I probably didn't say some nice things, but no one remember. I didn't say it, so
Yeah.
you didn't hear from me. But then there's a picture of Kelsie looking at the girl, and you could tell Kelsie said something
Yeah.
in the photo.
Because I was like, girl, that was unnecessary. And of course, I was the person that was right there. And it's like, you're not going to grab my friend. You're not going to grab my teammate and then expect nothing. Like, MeiLani might not say something. MeiLani won't say anything.
I won't say anything.
MeiLani
Remember
won't
that.
say
I won't say
anything,
nothing.
but Kelsie will. Kelsie will protect. I don't care how big you are or anything. Like,
But I was like, girl, we won already. Like, what are
Yeah.
you trying to do? There's 2 seconds left on the game.
yeah. I think she apologized after, though.
Yeah, she tried to. And then the coach tried telling something to me after. I'm like, girl, get your player. But remember, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Yeah. You didn't say that at all. You never said anything to the referees
This
or
was all
anything.
in theory.
You always looked at the ref like, yeah, you're doing such a good job calling this game. Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
I mean, you may have heard Ben say stuff, and
Yeah.
I know Coach Beeman was just as thrilled as you were with referees throughout the entire season. I know
Yeah.
you know that. Yeah.
Staunch advocate.
For all of the officiating that went on. Now I'm kind of curious. I don't know if I've ever remembered like seeing Kelsie. Have you ever like actually like tried to like stand up to like the tall centers? I'm trying to remember if I saw you like.
I don't.
It's
I don't
not
know
like
if
I
you
don't
tried
believe
doing
it,
something.
but-
Well, Kelsie always hits him with the too small gesture.
I
yeah,
only
yeah,
did
yeah.
that once.
But sometimes it's needed. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, if guys can do it, why can't we do it? Like,
I'm not complaining about
Oh,
you
not
guys
at
doing
all.
it. I just think it's funny. I
oh
love it.
yeah, it's so funny.
I love it.
I love it too.
I mean,
You love watching people do it.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't do that.
I don't know. Have I had to.
I don't remember.
I feel like I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, there was one.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. I be getting under people's skin.
Yeah.
Okay, but I like that girl needed to hear it, and she didn't like it.
Yeah, we won't name names, but
She needed to hear it. She didn't like it.
You know.
And everybody was like, "Oh my God, Kelsie! Like, why did she get technical? Like, why is she so mad?" I said, "She mad.
yeah, she mad.
She mad.
She mad.
She mad." I feel like I did a better job at composing myself than I have in the
Yeah.
because
Yeah, you've definitely done some worse things.
I've done some worse things.
We
I
get
think-
it. You're from Big Island, real.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just very competitive
It's
and
the Big
like
Island enforcer, folks.
I'm just. You're not gonna do anything crazy to me and expect me to just be
Cool with
"Oh,
it.
it's fine."
Yeah.
Like no, not at all.
I get it. I thought the craziest thing, and I know you guys didn't really see this because it was it not this past year, but the year before. I know I don't want to bring it up, but I have to just to tell this story. When we lost to Davis in the Big West tournament, but then that one player like tried to follow you guys when you were exiting the locker room, and I think was almost like talking smack to Jackie, and I'm like, girl, if only you knew that. Like,
it's probably crazy. Yeah.
I think we all know who we're talking about because that amongst the our sisterhood fandom for the women's basketball team, we all have one favorite player on Davis. So it was like, I can't believe she's doing that and following our team into the locker room. Little does she know, just luckily
You need help.
keep our composure.
Yeah.
Osa.
That's all we can say.
Yeah.
She's a little.
This girl had went to the Big Island. Yeah, I found this out.
Recently. This is recently.
And then was like asking people like, "Oh, like you know who Kelsie Imai is?"
No.
I'm like, okay, Hilo's only so big, and you're asking people in the basketball community if they know who I am. I fear I grew up playing with all of these people. Like,
Let's think here. Let's use our brains.
yeah, like let's be real. And then she'd be like, "Yeah, that's my nemesis. That's my best." I was like, "Girl,
Like, get over it. Like, you're done
Recently.
too. Recently.
Like,
This was like a couple
recently.
weeks ago.
recently." And I was just when they told me, I was like,
I don't think about you at all.
"Girl, you
Nemesis.
need help. Bless your heart, but
Bless
you
her
hate me
heart.
that bad." I mean, I'm not saying I like you, but like,
Yeah, you're like, it's over.
It's
Yeah,
over.
it's been done with. Like, you're done too.
yeah,
Oh, good. She's done too. We don't have to see her anymore either. Thank goodness.
she finds a way to come back next year, and you'd be like, "Oh no."
No, we have someone to cheer for on the other team.
Lord.
Anyways, we are joined in studio with former Rainbow Wahine basketball players Kelsie Imai and MeiLani McBee, but we do need to take a break. So again, if you guys want to chime in on the live chat on YouTube, thanks Ben for filling us in on the little smack talking conversation. That was fun. But we'll get back into when we come back. We'll get back into talking about some of your future plans, and we won't get emotional. It's okay. This is okay. We'll keep it together. So we'll be right back on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network.
Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Wake Up in the Den. Ku'ulei Agbayani, Paul Brecht, and joined in studio by former Rainbow Wahine basketball players MeiLani McBee and Kelsie Imai. Thank you guys for tuning in on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network on 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, or streaming live, we are right now on our YouTube channel. So be sure you guys like and subscribe because it's been a fun first hour so far, and hopefully we can get you guys to stay a little bit into the second hour. But we know it's summertime and you don't want to hang out with us old people all day.
You're not old.
You're one of
Me,
us.
on
You're
the
one of the
other
girls.
You're one of us.
Well, yeah. Well, Paul's not that
Paul,
old for sure.
Paul on the
Paul
other
is close
hand,
to your guys' age.
super old.
Oh yeah, Paul,
Super old, super lame.
Paul has the old soul. I honestly, I do think Paul might be older than me in terms of like maturity.
Probably.
So
Maturity, I don't know. In terms
like-
of the age of things I like, probably. It's
Oh, yeah.
just like
well, it's true because it's just like how MeiLani doesn't smack talk at all on the basketball court.
Never.
It's just like how it's never me courtside going crazy at men's and women's basketball
Your
games.
crazy
like,
twin,
never. That's my
however.
twin.
Your
If anybody
twin
didn't
is
know, I
quite-
do have a twin that. I don't know. She
She's very
gets
vocal.
a little out of hand sometimes, like especially when our favorite referees or players are doing things that you want to yell at. So, as I'm like, dang, I can't wait till it's basketball season again. No, but again, let's go back to kind of looking at the plans. I know, Kelsie, you've been talking about like just kind of figuring it out. So, in the short term, I mean, what are some of your plans that you are even just the next few months after hanging out with MeiLani?
Yeah, so rest of the week is dedicated to MeiLani. Duh. But yeah, I actually just signed with an agent.
Yeah, I saw that on your social. Congratulations.
So yeah, I'm gonna try go play overseas. I've been going back and forth about it for
Yeah, you have been.
like the past 2 months. Because at first, like during the season, my dad was like, "No, like you need to go. Like you need to go try and play overseas while you still can." And there's no rush to work. And we would get into like full blown arguments. I was like, "No, Dad. Like I'm tired. I'm burnt out. I don't think I want to play basketball after this. Like it's not as fun as you think sometimes. Like it can be really hard. Oh, you need to go." Like hanging off the phone, everything. Like I was like, "Dad, like I cannot talk to you." I'd call my sister and be like, "You need to get your father because he's making me mad." Like all of that.
Father.
And then like, I think it was after we played our last game at UNLV. I like sat in the bathroom and I was like,
You're like, I don't want to be done.
yeah, I was like, I don't want to be like this. Doesn't feel real. Like I don't think I'm ready to give it up. And then I came back and I'm like, okay, maybe I am done. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, where am I gonna work? And my initial plans were I was like, all right, I'm gonna move home, like, figure out my life in Hilo and like do something over there. And then like 2 weeks later, I was like, I'm not going home. I was like, I can't go home. There's nothing for me over there. Like, I'm just gonna be stuck, not gonna know what to do. So I ended up moving in with my auntie in MeiLani. So shout out my auntie Michelle, my Uncle Mike, once again for saving me and taking care of me, but allowed me to buy time and figure out my life. Yeah, and then there was two options. I was either gonna go this route to go to Europe, go to a master's program and play 2 years that way, or like find an agent, hopefully get picked up for something. And I decided very quickly that I don't want to do any more school because school is not my favorite thing, and I've been doing it for 5 years. So yeah, just did my whole agent deal literally last night.
Mm-hmm.
So looking to go somewhere in Europe. I'll have more details soon, but definitely like I'm excited. Never left Hawaii, so it'll be a transition, but I think I gotta grow up at some point and get off the island.
You'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be great wherever you end up. So I'm curious now, and I'm sure a lot of people are, how does that process for you guys work? Because obviously we know there are like the high level professional sports, right? And you kind of have some of the big pro leagues. You have to be like, I guess, vetted by those big leagues. How does it work for some of these international clubs that you look at, and how do you determine like who your agent or agency is going to be? How does that process work in trying to select someone or like a group that you feel like will best represent you?
Yeah. It was stressful. It's very stressful, and it's like I like kind of went into it blind. It's like I don't know what I'm doing for real. All I knew is, like, you got to go find an agent. Like, I talked to Amy. I was like, Amy, what do I do? And she's like, you got to find an agent. Like, just, you got to email people, ask around, do some research. Then I had reached out to multiple. A lot of them were like, hey, like, our roster's full. We can only have X amount of girls, but, like, I'll help you in this way. Like, send me your film. We can still. I was like, how are you going to help me if your roster's full? And then I reached out to this guy. Somebody actually sent him to me, one of the people that was like, my roster's full, but try this person. And he was like, yeah, like, I'd love to get on a video chat with you, whatnot. Went over it, gave me some options, and he was like, well, if you sign, like, I could get you out of here in 2 weeks. Like, and I was like, huh? I was like, okay, maybe not 2 weeks. I was like, maybe not. Wait, maybe not 2 weeks, but yeah, you really just gotta go in with an open mind and, like, do some research and just hope that you get something out of it. So, yeah, he asked me, he was like, oh, you want to go to Ireland? And I was like, Ireland?
I would go to Ireland.
I was like, Ireland seems pretty cool.
I was like, I don't know nothing about Ireland, but I was like, send me wherever, I guess. Just let me play basketball. So, yeah, it's been stressful, but figuring it out.
Ooh, Ireland. That's interesting. But at least you have people like Amy, and then you also have some of the men's players that have gone and played overseas. Have they shared any additional advice on top of that? Or maybe also probably if and when you have a team that you're going to, I'm sure you'll kind of reach out to some of the players depending on where you're going to end up.
I talked to Vaughn about it a little bit and whatnot. I was like, do you think I could play? He was like, Kelsie, I've watched some of the girls' teams play. Like, I think you'll be fine. Like, you'll survive. I think I talked to Vaughn about it the most. But he was just like, make sure you, like you really want to do it. Make sure you love basketball because that is all you will be doing. And you're not going to know anybody. And, like, that's your job. So if you hate it, like, you're going to be miserable. Like, well, let's see how much I love basketball then. But I also I don't know what I want to do. Like, I don't know what field I want to work in. So I'm like, let me just play basketball for a little bit longer, buy some time. And
I was going to say, excellent way to buy some time if you're going to play a little extra basketball.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not ready to give it up yet. So do it while I can.
Yeah, I understand, like, every perspective when I think back to when I was playing, and I don't think it was an option back then, like, especially because social media wasn't as prominent where you could just reach out to an agent on social media or something. But I remember being done with school. My mom was like, go to get your master's. Like, you have the commitment at school's grant and whatever. And I'm like, Mom, I do not like school. I don't like school. No thanks. And I was only in it for 4 years. I'd, like, stacked up all my credits just so I could be done because I'm like, I don't like school. Soccer I loved, but then it was just kind of like, oh, there wasn't really opportunities. The NWSL wasn't around at that time. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm done. But I also understand how it's like to be burnt out. And you're just like, you want to play basketball games, but that you've got to go to practice.
Yeah, practice and
sucks.
weights and staying in shape.
Yeah. But trust me, when you're going to look back and want to be playing for as long as you can, because fortunately, at least here we had women's league for soccer, so I could still kind of play, but I definitely missed it all the time. Don't miss school, though, so I totally am.
Yeah.
I understand that for you. And kudos to you, May, for continuing your education.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, I would love to keep playing basketball, but again, like, I'm kind of burnt out, and I have really bad knees, so if I continued, I don't think it would have been a good idea. So.
Quitting while you're ahead.
Huh?
Retiring while you're ahead. I don't want to say quitting.
Yeah,
I hate that word.
Exactly.
Retiring. Yeah, retiring is good. You guys had that full 5 years of school and playing. All right, we got to take another break. We'll be back for hour number 2 as we are joined in studio by former UH women's basketball players MeiLani McBee and Kelsie Imai. So again, text us at 808-888-KG1. That's 808-888-5481 if you have any questions, or chime in on the live chat. We'll be right back on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network.
Back to more Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ule Agbayani on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Wake Up in the Den, hour number 2. I'm Ku'ule Agbayani alongside Paul Brecht on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, and hawaiisportsradio.com. And, of course, streaming live on our YouTube channel as we are joined in studio by former Rainbow Wahine basketball players Kelsie Imai and MeiLani McBee. All right, we were taking a trip down memory lane in hour number 1. Again, if you guys missed any of that, you can go watch it back or listen on demand a little later this morning. But I kind of wanted to pick your guys' brain and get some advice to any of the young people listening or the parents of the young people listening about how to really navigate Division I sports. And it's constantly changing, as we know. I mean, you guys are going to leave and it's changing once again, right? But we'll go back and talk through some of your guys' experiences. So and I know it's a little different situation for you both because you came in during COVID, had the 5th year. It's a crazy time. It's just been moving so fast and changing what feels like every single year. And now we go into a new era with the house settlement and everything. But just maybe going to the middle part, maybe 2 years of when it felt somewhat normal. Just give, if you could, a little bit of advice and maybe little things that helped you guys kind of manage your time as the most efficiently, and what's kind of kept you motivated both in the basketball sense and at school, because it can become so overwhelming with everything going on. I mean, I was a student athlete at one point, but I mean, it was Division II. I'm not playing on TV twice. So, there's so much that goes on that young people have to deal with. So just tell, if you don't mind sharing a little bit about your personal experiences and how you guys navigated through all of that. I guess at least in a little more detail, and how you would give advice to some of the young people or the parents listening or watching right now on what they can tell their kids that are maybe looking at playing, even if it's not Division I, but being a student athlete in general in college. High school is already hard. College is a whole different animal because you don't have to show up technically, right? So how do you keep yourself motivated to keep going to class, to keep showing up to practice when you may not have your parents there to, hey, you got to go to school, all of this stuff. So if you guys can just share with the audience a little bit of what has worked for you guys in terms of making sure you guys stay on track throughout the last 5 years.
You want to go?
Nah, you take this one.
I mean, definitely like a trial and error. You gotta learn yourself. You gotta learn what feels good and what's gonna keep you going. For me, I don't even like you. I just went through it.
Yeah, we went through it for sure. I think what helps, obviously we missed out during our COVID year, but I think like if you can start early to try and find something you like and have fun doing outside of the sport you play, that will really help balance out your life, because once you're in it, it's like that's all you do. Like that's your job. That's how. And if you get a scholarship, like they're paying you to do this, so it's like you need to be on your best behavior. You need to be on point. Like
yeah, and it's like it's not even just about your sport. It's like you need to, especially here, like you need to be on your best behavior wherever you go, because we're on an island. It's like Beeman would find out the craziest things. She'd hit us with like, "Oh, you did this," and we're like, "Girl, how did you know?" Like,
do you have cameras everywhere?
The coaches know everything.
Yeah, Beeman's gonna find out everything. So you got to be on your best behavior. Like you got to be that good role model.
But I think also like putting in extra time for your sport too. Like what you're doing now may not be enough to get to where you want to go. So getting in extra workouts, staying in shape, just doing all the hard work, and make sure you're determined in doing it. And if it's not something you want to do, then don't push yourself into it. Like make sure you're having fun playing the sport you love. So
it can be very hard. If you're not having fun, it's horrible. But just find your routine. Make sure you have people that support you. Always surround yourself with people who support you. And it's like, enjoy your teammates. Lean on them because they're probably going through the same thing as you.
Yeah. We're all going through the same thing. So it's really nice when you have teammates who can be there for you. Like we were all there for each other during the hard times, like especially the hard times, and I think that's what helped get us through some of the things, and it helped us win. So
yeah, and just also making time to do things with your teammates outside of basketball.
Yeah.
And just really enjoying each other's company, because it's like, you know, we see each other every day, so it's sometimes, you know,
it gets too much. Yeah. So, and it's okay. It's okay for that. Like, it's okay to not want to hang out with your teammates because, like, we see them every day. Like, we get on each other's nerves.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we might be best friends off the court, but, like, on the court, it's like you're fighting for spots. Like, it's very competitive on the court. And so sometimes it can lead to arguments and all that. But at the end of the day, it's like we're here to win and accomplish something bigger than what you're there for. So
yeah,
just make sure you're having fun doing the sport you love.
Yeah, kind of talk a little bit more about that as well, because especially now with the transfer portal just being so prevalent in the wild, wild west, and a lot of times, yeah, the small minority is maybe the top echelon of players are transferring because there's a lot of money involved, but of other portion of people transferring is because they feel like they can start or get more playing time. So like Kelsie, as someone that had like started sometimes, came off the bench sometimes, how do you kind of navigate that and just continue to push through, because everybody wants to play, right? Like, so how did you kind of deal with kind of that up and down throughout your years here?
It was, I didn't mind not starting. I didn't mind starting. It was just kind of knowing what my role was at the time and putting myself in the best position to help my teammates and do what the coaches wanted and make sure like whatever I was doing was benefiting the team. That's all that really mattered to me. Yeah, I never really got in my head about the whole starting thing. It was just, I would get like sometimes minutes were not as much as I wanted, and I'd be like, all right, well, I'll talk to one of the coaches, let them know how I feel, and then like, all right, I gotta work harder. Like I gotta do this 10 times better at practice. I gotta outwork this person, and whatnot. But it was just kind of always respecting the coach's decisions and knowing that when it was my time, like it would be my time, and just doing what I was supposed to do, whether that be going at a girl.
Yeah.
Like
Whether it be like doing the smack talking,
playing defense, or just like getting my teammates open. It was just whatever I was needed for. Like, I was like, all right, sign me up. I'm there. Got you. You don't got to ask me twice.
I love it. And we'll kind of keep the advice train going as well, as we are joined in studio by former Rainbow Wahine basketball players MeiLani McBee and Kelsie Imai. And for you, MeiLani, I know when we talked about you breaking the record, I know there's so much pressure and all eyeballs, like she's one shot away. And I know that must have been really hard. Not just that, but you have, because of that, you've been known kind of as the long distance shooter on the team for the last few years. So how did you kind of not get into your head too much when the shot, you did have games where the shots just weren't falling, but you have to regroup, reset, and come back the next game and feel that confidence again? Because I know that can always be difficult, right? Like I only played basketball in my high school time, but once you start missing, you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to find the basket ever again. So share a little bit about how that was for you and how that, like what you told yourself to get you through some of those times when you did kind of struggle from behind the arc.
Yeah, it was definitely hard. I worked a lot with Alex because obviously he's our offensive coach, but he also is like the big analyzer of like everyone's shot. And so I would have a lot of workouts with him. And I think very few select people would only have workouts with him because, you know, he can get a little fired up, but it's all for the love of the game. So I completely understand where his passion comes from. But earlier in my like times here, like my freshman, sophomore year, obviously, like if I didn't make a shot, I'm like, I'm not shooting again. Like I'm done shooting. And then I got over it a little bit closer to the end of my years here because at the end of the day, I'm like, it's just a game. If I hit one, cool. If I don't hit any, cool. Like it's fine. Like if we win, cool. That's all that mattered. But I just gotta keep in mind, like it's just a game. Like at the end of the day, so you make some, you miss some, you lose some, you win some. So just having that in the back of my mind of just like keep shooting, like you're still a good shooter, like you're still working for something, like we're all here to win, and as long as you can get that accomplished, then I think that's the biggest goal. So just keep shooting, keep trying, keep working hard, and don't leave anything off the court. Give your all on the court.
I like that. That's good advice there. Because like I said, it can be difficult. I know Paul was a basketball player as well. So, do you have any advice, Paul? You were a point guard, so like any advice for when your shots weren't falling or your passes?
I was always told to shoot more. So I'm somebody who should have listened to May's advice. No, I mean, shooters shoot, and if you have confidence in yourself, I think that's the biggest thing. If you don't believe in yourself, then I don't think you can truly expect anyone else to believe in you. So I like that kind of thought process. I did want to continue this kind of advice train because both of you have a lot of games under your belt playing at the University of Hawaii. I think 1 and 2 all time or something along those lines up there. Could you guys talk about how you prepared yourselves physically and mentally for the games, so you could go through and play so many? I mean, it's not that you didn't deal with injuries throughout your career. It's not that you didn't deal with those ups and downs. But how much extra work did you guys put in off the court to make sure that you could stay on the court so much over your time here at Hawaii?
A lot of treatment. A lot of going to see Kristen.
Kristen helped us a lot because I was in there every day. Because like I said, I have really bad knees. And so I had to be in there every day or else I wouldn't have been able to play most of the games. And so there were even speculations of like if I was even going to play some games or not. And so my minutes would get cut sometimes during those games, especially if they were like, we were already winning by a bit. It was like, all right, May can sit out for this amount of time. But it's all that treatment. You need to do treatment. You need to get your stretches in. You need to really take care of your body after weights, practice, games.
Taking care of your body ultimately. And then like prepping your body. So when you do your lifts, be intentional about it.
Yeah, don't do anything like lazy or take reps off. Because it'll all bite you in the end. It will.
But then I can also say for like me and May, like we didn't want to miss practice. Like we would always like push through things and just
like I would fight Beeman.
Yeah.
I would fight Beeman and Kristen and be like, no, like I'm practicing today. Like you're not letting me not practice because what do I look like? Like these girls, I can practice with them. Like I'm fine. Like my knees work. Like they're still working. But
if you can't practice, like you can't play. We both really wanted to play.
So a mixture of mentality, preparation, and probably a little bit of luck in there too, of course, because injuries are unpredictable. But I mean, I just wanted to give an opportunity to shout out the training staff because I know they are sometimes some forgotten warriors and Wahine who certainly help out quite a bit.
Yeah, they take it very seriously, especially with the new little, what's it called? The science behind. Like we have to do these jumps, and they kind of like tracks how our body is after like games or something, or like after a hard week. I don't remember exactly how it works.
It was like tell us the velocity that we're jumping at, like
it did all kinds of things, and they would talk to us about it all the time, and we're like, yeah, we know what we know what you're talking about.
I'm like, so is my jumps up? Or like, is it up?
Are they up? Or are they down? Like, am I flagged today? Am I not? Am I good to go? Like, and most days I was definitely flagged.
Yeah.
Because my knees. So, but
we would do it we do like 2 times a week to see where we're at.
Yeah, 2 times a week.
And just compare our results and whatnot. We had Dr. Trevor Short do all of that. He would do all the sports science and we'd be like,
and then he would report, him and the other Trevor Sackman would report back to Beeman and Kristen and talk about like practice needs to be this week, or they need to up their practice today, or certain things like that.
We had the Connects on bras, and
it would like that's like everyone's wearing that at UH, right?
Yeah, I think so. Everyone's starting to wear them now.
We track our like player low, like how fast we ran, how many miles we ran, and how many jumps we did.
Our like burst of speed, like it tracked everything.
I'm such a nerd. I'm loving this. I'm like sitting here listening to all the numbers. I'm just like, oh, that sounds so interesting. It must be so fun to know all that.
It was interesting because like on the games where I was like, dang, we only got like 10 rebounds, 20 rebounds total. Literally it was because our jumps were down, or at least the science behind our jumps were down. And then after they came and like told us about it, literally the next game, it was like everyone's jumps were up. Like we had this many amount of rebounds. Like it wasn't much of a problem until it began. Like it was up and down for sure, but the science behind it is crazy.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I know it's like it's just getting more and more advanced with college athletics. It's pretty much turning into, as we know, professional sports as well. As we are joined in studio by former Rainbow Wahine basketball players Kelsie Imai and MeiLani McBee. But we got to take a break. We'll be back to continue our conversation with these two lovely ladies on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Wake Up in the Den. Ku'ulei Agbayani, Paul Brecht on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, and streaming live on our YouTube channel as we are joined in studio by former UH women's basketball players MeiLani McBee and Kelsie Imai. All right, in the first segment, we kind of ended it off by giving some shout outs that kind of reminded me, and because you guys were talking about Trevor's, I do want to talk about, because like I said, you guys have been here for the 5 years, and UH has really stepped up their social media game ever since like that time coming up. But I know there's a lot of young talent over there running these social media teams for you guys and for all of the teams. So how has that been for you guys and just the brand to get out there that you have all of this awesome coverage on social media, and shout out all of those that are involved behind the scenes?
First and foremost, we need to shout out Trevor Camelo. We love, he's really one of our good friends.
Yeah, because I think he started when we came in.
Yeah, he came to Vegas with us that first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love him. I be cracking jokes to him all the time.
Yeah, we love Trevor. But he truly is the best. Like, if you look at anyone else's, media, I'm just like, yeah, you ain't got nothing on Hawaii media, so.
He is very talented, loves what he does, and
he has a good, group of kids who are also working with him. Yeah. So, JJ, he was also one of our practice players. Mm-hmm. So, kudos to him for doing all that on top of social media and, taking photos and going to women's volleyball for, by himself and, doing the media coverage for them. So.
We had Makana come with us.
Yep, Makana came with us. He was also a practice player.
Yeah,
there you go, keeping those kids busy. I know Tyler went to the Big Island with you guys. That's where he first met him.
Love Tyler.
Well, and he was also one of our practice players too.
He started off as a practice player, and then he got into it. I think he was like shooting for Punahou or something, and then ended up helping out with UH.
Yeah.
Which
Darren also started doing it too. Darren was also another practice player, got into filming, so
you can thank Hawaii women's basketball for all these talented,
good job. God, lovely, talented young men.
Yeah, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but like some of the other schools, like even within the Big West, like you guys said, they ain't got nothing on UH media at all. Mm-hmm. Like it's just a whole other level, and I don't think people realize like how important it is these days, especially for sports like women's basketball in the Big West that maybe doesn't get covered as much as it should be. I mean, that's why I wanted to kind of give them a lot of flowers, because we're getting all this attention. I mean, obviously we know, I think Hawaii, like the last couple of years, they've always led in average attendance, but the last couple of years, I think it's like doubled up on like the next school with the crowds that have been showing up for you guys. Oh, wow. So yeah, it's something like I think Hawaii was averaging, and correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, but I think it was like a little over 1,000, and like the next school was like half of that, like 500 or something. Wow. So yeah, it's kudos to all of you guys and making it entertaining basketball. All right, I want to get into also going back to just how you guys navigated the last few years, as we were talking about earlier, that the college sports landscape is continuously changing. The big settlement junction came out last week Friday, but with NIL being introduced kind of midway through your careers, what were some of the things that went through your mind when it first started coming up, like, and how did you guys begin to understand what was happening, and is this something we can take advantage of, or just share a little bit with us about how that was for you when it was all first starting a couple of years ago?
For me, I was just like, it was all new. I had no idea what was going on. I was like, oh, so people can just like hand me out money?
Yeah.
I was like, so who want to give me
who want to give us money?
Who want to give me money? But then it's just like, there's so much things that go into it, the compliance, and you gotta do
like
this.
Your contract.
Yeah, the contracts, and it's like I think my first NIL was with Bank of Hawaii, and I had Ryan help me.
Oh yeah,
he did all of the behind the scenes work. So I was like, I don't know. I was like, you gonna give me money? I'll sign this paper. Like realistically, I was like, I'm broke. Why not? But I feel like it's gotten easier throughout the years. Like they have the different apps that make it.
Yeah. For me, I think it wasn't like when it was first starting out, I'm like, cool, we'll get some extra money. But I mean, at the end of the day, I was like, it's not really about the money. Like we came here to play basketball anyway. Like, cool, you want to give us money? Awesome, I will take it. I will do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, I was just like, it is what it is.
Yeah, we'll take. I feel like for me, it picked up after season was done.
Yeah, like, it picked up definitely after season was done. I was like, where was this when I was in season? Yeah. I mean, I'm very grateful for them reaching out, and I was able to do it. But I'm like, dang it, I missed so many opportunities during season.
Yeah, I'm like, but for us, I feel like we get more product, than money, and I'm super grateful. Like I'll take anything. Free is free. If it's free, it's for me.
Yeah.
It's free, but yeah, I mean,
and obviously it's not like, it's kind of hard to compare to other schools because we're obviously on an island, so there's not very many big opportunities as the other schools are offering. Mm-hmm. But like, it shouldn't be about money. It should be about the sport you're playing, and so that's why I was like, I don't care. I'm not leaving. Like, I would rather play somewhere where I'm loved and where I'm also loving the community and where I'm at, rather than trying to end the relationships with the girls. Like, you can't get that anywhere else if you keep transferring school to school. Like, you don't build anything, and you're not a trustworthy, like, reliable person at the same time. It's like, well, if you're just going to leave, like, who knows? Maybe I won't play you. So it's like,
there's no loyalty.
There's no loyalty. And so I'm very grateful and blessed that I chose to stay and be here for my 5 years.
Yeah.
I love that. There you go. Hopefully we got to clip that up, Paul, and like share that with as many like student athletes, because that is very important. And maybe it's because I am like old school, obviously, and that's what I thought. Because you're on scholarships, I'm like,
Exactly.
I'm just happy to be here, that I get to do this essentially for free. I get to continue playing and practicing, and you still get, I think a lot of people, especially people that haven't played college athletics, that they don't understand there's so much other things that come with it, like you don't have to pay for a gym membership you don't have to pay for the trainers. You don't have to, like, you get all of this treatment that comes with everything else that I think, and not even just people that never played, even younger student athletes that are wanting to get all this money. I'm like, you don't understand that if you're comfortable somewhere, there's a lot that comes with it outside of your scholarship that you won't realize until you get into the adult world and be like, yeah, what do you mean I have to pay to go to the gym now? What do you mean I have to pay to go to physical therapy? Like, what is
Well, also,
what is
too,
this?
it's like you only get that, like, if you're kind of playing. So you have to really love what you do and, like, compete for a spot to get seen and get those opportunities. And if you're not about that, then it's not all like glorious as you think it is.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, like, yeah, you're right.
Right.
There's nothing more to add to that.
I know you have one of your NILs sponsored right here. There's some of your product.
Yeah, go get your
water
YK
there,
water
I
from
know.
Kelsie.
Good
Yeah.
product placement.
I love it. It's like YK. They're so like they're good people.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have to question that. So it's a small local business. Like that's what I want to help is a small local business. And they're from the Big Island, so
It's just
Which
perfect.
is,
It's
checks off all the
perfect.
boxes
It's
for you over there. As we are joined in studio by former UH women's basketball players MeiLani McBee and Kelsie Imai. We do need to take a break, but we are going to continue maybe a little bit of advice train and maybe a little bit of just getting to know you a little bit more again. Maybe asking about some of your favorite things, what you're going, maybe for you, May, what you're going to miss the most after you leave here. Maybe shout out some of your favorite places that you guys go and eat during your college career and all of that good stuff. So we're gonna continue having some fun here on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network.
Back to more Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to all of you, the beautifulest of all the beautiful people. It's Wake Up in the Den. I'm Ku'ulei Agbayani along with Paul Brecht on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network. 95.1 FM, AM 760, HawaiiSportsRadio.com, and streaming live on our YouTube channel. You guys can chime in on the live chat, or you can text us at 808-888-KGU1, 808-888-5481 if you want to get in on the conversation, as we are joined in studio by former UH women's basketball players MeiLani McBee and Kelsie Imai. Thank you guys, first of all, for hanging out with us. Again, I joked, but I'm 100% serious. When you're a young person, I don't know how long you want to stay in studio and talk story with everyone. So we appreciate you guys for taking the time for during your summer and, of course, your last few days here, MeiLani. But we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us, and for all, I'm sure all the listeners appreciate it because they followed your guys' journeys for the last 5 years. And I think this is just a nice, like, putting a bow on this past 5 years for you guys in this Rainbow Wahine basketball season, that we've seen so much success, because it does kind of feel like we're almost going into a new era of this basketball team, right? Like, for someone like ourselves that are media, but are also fans. Like, we are huge basketball fans. Paul and I love basketball. It's like one of our top sports, especially college basketball. And now seeing so many of the same faces for the last 5 years, it's like, oh my gosh, there's going to be a brand new team that we're going to see there out on the court. And of course, we only anticipate like the success to continue because we 100% believe in Coach Beeman and all of the coaching staff and what they've continued to build there. But it like, again, it's a bittersweet. College does have to come to an end. We have to say a hui ho to you guys, which is never easy. But just thinking about some of your time here with the team and continuing, like, kind of the shout outs going out there. But what were some of maybe we were talking about it earlier, where you got to find something that you like to do outside of school and basketball to help get you through your college career. So I don't think we actually asked, what were some of your guys' favorite things that you did outside of school and basketball to help keep you sane?
I would read. Me and BK, Brooklyn Brewers, is my book buddy. So we would talk about books all the time. I would hang out with Jade and BK too a lot. We'd have movie nights, and we got into a lot of, like, our silly little rom-coms and little rom-com shows, and so we would watch those. But other than that, like, I would text Kelsie and be like, hey, you want to go to the beach today? Or, like, we would have little moments here and there with everyone on the team.
Yeah. I mean, I would hang out with May, but I was taking care of my 2 little freshman babies, which was fun because all I've ever done was hang out with Ashley. So it was like I had to.
Well, and you lived with her too.
Yeah, I lived with her. It's like, that's my best friend. I lived with her. I saw her at practice, and we never got into a fight. By the way, there was never any arguments between us. So that's how you know. But I had to, like, find something else to do. I was like, because my main person I would hang out is gone. So I took in Tori and Rebecca, and it was fun. Like, I got to show them around the island, take them to different places, make them try different food. But most of the time it was like, all right, I'm coming over after practice. Like, we're going to watch Love Island, and we're going to watch this movie. We're going to do homework. But, yeah, just, having somebody to hang out with and not have to talk about basketball all the time and just make some good memories. So,
yeah. There were times, too, where it was like we would rant about practice that day or something, and then it was very little basketball talk. It was always like, what'd you guys do today? Like, yada, yada, yada. So it was kind of nice to have people in your corner that were there for you for good reasons.
Yeah. And then other than that, it was like, if I needed to be away, I would drive out to MeiLani and just hang out with my family, have dinner over there, and, have, like, a sense of home.
I like that. Did you make an appearance on BK's vlog? I know she was doing, like, a vlog thing.
Duh. Are you kidding me?
Everybody did.
Everyone did,
Everybody
actually.
did.
Obviously, Jade was in there a lot, but that's because they lived together. But I was definitely in the vlogs. But you should go check Brooklyn Brewer's YouTube.
Yeah.
She had a lot of vlogs about us on the road and just her time here in Hawaii, so...
Yeah, it popped up on my feed once, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. And I think the only one that I was able to watch was, I think it was just Bex on there. Yeah. No, Jade, excuse me. Jade was on there. But I got to go look it up now and see, like,
yeah,
other craziness.
She has so much footage because she would vlog almost every, like, road trip we had. Mm-hmm. It's just, she was like, it's too much. I have so much homework. Like, editing all of these is getting too much. Like, I need a break. And I'm like, girl, like, you are doing it for you. Like, we're not what's it called? We're not forcing you to make these videos, but I mean, like, if we're in them, like, get to it. Like, I want to see them. So, but no, it's all love. She loves making videos. Like, that's her outlet too, is making vlogs and reading and listening to music. So,
I love that.
Vlogging is not easy.
It's not.
No, it's not.
It is so hard. You know how much footage I have?
Yeah, you have a lot of footage
I
too,
have
because
so much
she
footage.
started vlogging too.
Yeah, I have like the whole camera set up. I have so much footage. Nobody's ever seen it before. I don't think I've even watched it
Girl,
back.
I get it because I have a pretty fancy setup too, and I just bought like the newest like Osmo Pocket 3, and I'm like, yeah, I'm totally gonna get into this. I'm gonna film even us when we go into next season and us setting up and everything, and I'm just like, yeah, no. And then you download it onto your computer, and it just sits there because I'm like, this is too complicating already.
I'll watch it back in like a year when I forget
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
I'll be like, oh, like that was sweet.
Yeah, it is fun to look back at. I mean, I have videos too, but they're just like funny videos,
Yeah.
like of us just doing random stuff. Like, I have a lot of Kelsie too.
Oh, we got a fun text that came in as we were joined by Kelsie Imai and MeiLani McBee. So this is actually something I did want to get to as well, because someone texting in saying, MeiLani, did you try to recruit Talia Von Ohoff?
Oh, gosh.
So just real quick before anybody is wondering like what, and if you haven't heard of her, she played at Oregon State, was a crucial part in them making it very far in the Women's March Madness tournament, and then most recently at USC. And this was cool when I had read through your bio like sometime during the season, because I was already a huge fan of Talia. Like, she is so funny on Twitter. Like, she's one of my favorite follows. She's
Oh my gosh,
hilarious.
she's hilarious.
She's so fun. And then I found out like, oh wait, her dad is like a football player from here, from Molokai.
Yep.
And then I found out like, wait, her mom is like the great Tondi Red, like,
Yeah,
who played at
played
UH.
at UH.
And then I see that your auntie, and it's in here in your bio that she's your auntie. I'm like, wait a minute, that means her cousin. This whole time I didn't know. I'm like a big fan of Talia and like love her on social media and love her on the basketball court, of course. And then it all came together. So that is kind of funny. Someone noticed that too and texted in like, did you try to recruit her? And kind of tell us a little bit about that relationship.
No, I never recruited her. Obviously, it would have been cool to play with her, because I've played with her ever since I played against her, not knowing we were cousins, because we didn't know at the time. But she was obviously a really good basketball player at a very young age, and just growing up playing with her, it's been so fun. She always pushed us to be the best, and she was always like a really good offensive player and basketball player all around. And so I loved watching her grow at Oregon State and at USC as well. And then I ended up playing against her too in high school, because she transferred into our conference, and so that was fun. But it's always been all love and support from the Von Ohoffen family. So,
yeah, and in case anybody is wondering, yes, Kimo Von Ohoffen is his name was escaping me, and I remember it. Her dad is the very famous in Hawaii terms football player, but that was fun. And I think Paul? I think I was even saying like, I think this might have been before I found out that you guys were related, because when she entered the transfer portal, I'm like, maybe she can come play for Hawaii.
You immediately sent a text in our group chat like, I know it's a long shot, but what if? And I was like, hey,
she has that connection to Hawaii.
it
Yeah.
would be fun.
yeah, a lot of us tempted, because we were like, oh my gosh, like, what if all of like our old Northwest Blazers team like ended up coming here? Because there was a bunch of people in the transfer portal, like Jada Noble. We played with her for a while too, and so we were like, what if we get the whole Northwest Blazers squad and just finish out our senior year all together? But they went their separate ways, and they did good at those schools. So I'm very proud of them.
Yeah, USC was pretty good. Yeah.
They had an all right year.
How has that been like for you guys, though, watching the sport of women's basketball grow during your, like, not only have you guys seen the fans continuously show out and the crowds get bigger for your games, but just all across the country, from the Caitlin Clark effect starting, and then now you do have a young talent like Juju Watkins that is bringing all of this attention and a lot of NIL dollars to these players in women's sports. Like, how has that been like for you guys to kind of watch this grow just here, but also just all across the country, and all of the eyeballs and all of the fans showing up for women's college basketball? Like, ticket prices, granted they were playing in a smaller arena, but the ticket prices, like for the women's Final Four, was like more expensive than the men's Final Four. There was all of this stuff. So how has that been like for you guys to see your sport just grow tremendously over the last couple of years?
It's so cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's awesome to be a part of it too. Like, although we may not get as much eyes as all the other schools, but like, it's been cool to be a part of it and be like we played LSU and they ended up winning. Like, that's insane. No one else can say that. Like, my friends can't say that they played a national championship team. So
I actually saw Flau'jae last. Was it?
Oh, you did?
Didn't tell you?
No.
Oh, girl. I saw her last week.
She was here?
Yes, girl.
What the heck?
It was me and Ashley.
I probably wasn't here, that's why.
Yeah, I think you were in
I was
Australia.
in Australia.
And I was like, somebody just said Flau'jae's here. And I'm like looking, and I'm like, Ashley, like, do we go say? Like, is that
Like,
weird?
do you remember us?
No, literally. And then we're like, you know what? Let's just go. Like, let's just see where this goes. Whatever. We go. I go to like tap on her shoulder, and one of the girls is like, "Yes, girl. Like, this is Flau'jae Johnson." And I was like, "Okay, cool. Like, got it." And then she like turns around and she's like, "Wait a minute. Y'all played for Hawaii, huh?" And I was like, "Oh, she knows us." And we were like, "Yeah, you whooped on us." But yeah. She's like, "Yeah, that's it. You were national champs." And me and Ashley were like, "Yeah." But it's like, I never thought I would be able to talk to somebody that's
Right.
like, she's basically a celebrity.
Yeah, she is.
I mean, but she was super cool, and it was like, she knew us as the girls that played for Hawaii that she whipped on. So it's like, you know.
Hey, we put up a good fight
Hey,
against
no, we
them.
did.
I think
Did
I was
you
gonna say,
know?
I don't know if whipped on is what I'd say.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, because I think Paul and I were talking about this when that was happening, I was like, I'm pretty sure they beat you, or like you guys held, it was like a smaller deficit between you guys than it was for, like, I think Michigan. They played in the second round and we're like, oh yeah, we're better than Michigan.
Yeah.
We held them.
And to their lowest
Their
scoring,
lowest
yeah.
score,
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure it was their
Something-
lowest output of the entire NCAA tournament. It was one of those things where I was like, listen, Hawaii put up a pretty good competition against the national champions. If you can't win the whole darn thing, then it's
I'll take that.
pretty
stat.
darn
Yeah.
good.
But even just the experience of going to March Madness, like, you dream of that as a little girl that plays basketball. Like,
Exactly.
you want to go to the tournament. You want to get all this gear. You want to fly in a private jet. Like, we got to do that.
Cool.
Like, not a lot of people say they got to
Twice.
experience that.
We
Twice.
got to do it twice because we also played Baylor too,
Yeah.
Which is also insane.
right? I mean, some of them are already WNBA stars. Like,
Yeah.
that's insane.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, just going down and seeing all those memories, playing for, like, having that success on the team. All right, we got to take our final break, but when we come back, we will wrap it up with MeiLani McBee and Kelsie Imai here in studio. Tears. We'll be right back on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network.
Back to more Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Wake Up in the Den. Ku'ulei Agbayani, Paul Breckton, joined in studio by former Rainbow Wahine basketball players MeiLani McBee and Kelsie Imai. Wrapping up the show again. Thank you guys for taking the last 2 hours to join us here in studio. We very much appreciate it. As I mentioned earlier, kind of putting a bow on this class of Rainbow Wahine basketball that we're going to miss so much. So, Kelsie, I know you're going to be here maybe for at least a couple of weeks. Who knows? You're going to get that pro contract that
She
you
goes
deserve.
to Ireland or something?
Maybe Ireland or somewhere, and then you're gonna bow out of here. But May, for sure, you're leaving on Friday, so maybe tell us a little bit about, aside from Kelsie, what are some of the things that you're going to miss here in Hawaii? Maybe either it be food or other people, or what is it that you're going to miss here the most?
I could talk so much about this, but I'll keep it short and sweet. Obviously, I'll miss everyone that I've connected with and made a relationship with. That'll be the biggest hardest thing I'll have to do and say goodbye to. The fans and all the support that the community has given me, and the program at Hawaii has been tremendous and such a beautiful experience that I will greatly miss. Basketball isn't going to be my personality anymore, and obviously, here, people are, they'll see me at the store and be like, oh, my gosh, you're a Hawaii women's basketball player. Can I take a picture with you? And I'm not going to get that back at home. So it'll definitely be an adjustment for sure. But I'll miss all the girls.
Stop. Don't look at me right now.
I'll miss all the girls and, just spending our quality time with each other, because obviously I won't see them every day like I'm used to. So it's a bittersweet moment, but I'm excited to go home as well.
All right, Kelsie, if and when you do get that pro contract and you will have to be away from Hawaii for the first time ever and for an extended period of time, potentially in another country, what are some of the things that you're definitely going to miss?
I mean, Hawaii's home. It's always been home. So it's going to be hard for me to leave my family, leave the community, and just have to be in a new place where I don't know anybody. We're so supported in this community. Like MeiLani said, you walk around and everybody's not everybody, but people will be like, oh, you play at UH. Little girls would be looking at me smiling and waving.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that anywhere else.
The little girls would be like, I think that's her.
Yeah, literally.
I think that's her. And then they're like, can I get an autograph? I'm like, duh. Of course you can. You want a picture too? I will take a picture with you.
Yeah. And it's just, I don't think you get that kind of love anywhere else. It's such a special feeling, and it's always such a special place. When they say it's the Aloha State, no, it's literally the Aloha State. Everybody is going to respect you, support you, and whatever you do. I think just having to adjust to not living that life, it's going to be a culture shock. I don't know what culture I'm going to be with, but I doubt that it's going to be anything like Hawaii.
I definitely think if it's international, you will definitely be missing pretty much all the food that we have here.
Oh, yeah, the
because
food.
I know, May, you're on the West Coast, so you're bound to find a lot of different foods there. But for you, Kels, if you go international, there's going to be a lot of food that you're going to have to go without here.
I'll be taking my rice cooker with me. That is probably the number one thing. I'm I just need my rice.
That's probably something I will get.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll get you one. Yeah, the food. I mean, I don't even want to think about the food. Why did you remind me of that?
I know I'm going to miss the food too.
Yeah.
Can't get any fresher than poke.
Yeah.
And I don't have that where I live. It's some made up thing. I'm
it's not even
it's
poke
not
for
the
real.
same. It's not the same.
What are all these vegetables? I don't
was
get
gonna
it.
say, or it's when they
Yeah.
put random stuff in the stuff and call it poke, like watermelon and other seeds.
Right.
Why is there
Yeah.
corn in my poke? That doesn't make no sense to me.
Yes. It's what are we doing?
Yeah,
here
why
with
are
all-
there beans in mine? That's not a thing. I'm not eating
They're messing
that.
it up on the continent. We already know that. All right. How about we start doing, again, I don't want to run out of time, and I want to make sure we kind of give all of the shout outs out there, maybe some of the people, either it be the coaches, other players, your family, everybody. And I know anybody, if in case they miss anyone, I'm putting them on the spot so they don't have it written down or anything, but maybe just some general shout outs to everyone, the fans, what you want to say to them to wrap up this career that you've had playing for the University of Hawaii.
I think we should start off with the fans.
Yeah.
Like,
They've been our number one supporter.
yeah. Like, some of them treat us as if we are family. That is family.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Almost like we're their children.
Yeah.
They feed us. They make sure our locker room is stocked.
The boosters, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's like the parents that bring their kids out. That's what means the most to me, is like seeing these little girls and they're, like saying, "Oh, you're my favorite player. Like, I want to be just like you."
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
So thank you to the parents that bring out their kids, and hopefully we inspire them. That was always the main goal for me.
100%. I'm glad to be a role model here in Hawaii and make them dream big. So, obviously my parents, thank you for all the support. I wouldn't be here without them. They've literally done everything for me. So
Yeah. That's generic. Obviously my parents know that I'm thankful. Thank you guys. Thank you, Mom and Dad.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Thank you to the coaches, 100%.
yeah,
Beeman, Kay, Flo,
Alex,
Jason, Di, Noah, Trevor,
Yep.
Trevor's, Kristen,
TT, Aaron,
TT. Everybody.
everyone.
It's everybody in the UH staff, really. It's it is truly one big family, and it's they support you through anything and everything.
They
Good
made
times,
it.
bad
They made it
times.
all possible for
Yeah.
us to be here and play basketball. So
I'm just blessed to have had an opportunity to come play basketball and meet all of the girls that I met. I wouldn't have met MeiLani if it weren't for this.
yeah,
My
Exactly.
lifelong friends.
I love it. I'm going to have to throw one in here. We got to give a shout out to Ben,
Yes.
one of the
Yes.
big supporters. I feel like Ben was one of the OG. He was there before a bunch of the crowds came, and he was always telling us come on, let's go to women's basketball, all of this stuff. And so I got to shout out Ben just because he's
Yeah.
a personal friend and he's a huge
Yeah.
fan
no,
of you guys.
100%. Shout out to Ben.
That man will,
He literally would take care of us.
yeah, ride or die for us.
Ride
no
or die.
No doubt about it. We love that man. I mean, everybody who sits courtside, really, it's you come to every game, you support us, you treat us like family. We hear you yelling.
I know. Even post game meals, they be feeding us homemade meals. You took the time out of your day to feed 20 people, 25 people. Kudos to you guys. And it was good food too.
Auntie Val,
Oh yeah, Auntie Val. Can't forget Auntie Val.
if it's your birth month,
She
best
goes
believe-
all out.
Yeah.
Cake
You're
and
gonna have your
everything.
cake. You're gonna
They're gonna sing you happy birthday.
she
We
gonna
love
get you
Auntie
the
Val.
the headband,
She'll also bring
little toiletry stuff for us.
all the time. Be here, and then it'll also be flight stuff too, eye mask, lotion.
We were spoiled.
Yeah, we were definitely spoiled
We
for
were
sure.
so spoiled.
I'm glad you remember that. Yeah, shout out to Val Schmidt, the president of the Booster Club. And from the booster side, she definitely probably, this is no shade to any other booster clubs, but I'm just glazing Val here because she keeps us updated. She sends out emails all the time, what's going on, and oh, if you want to donate, here, you can drop off the snacks for the girls here. She is just on it being the president of
And,
the Booster Club.
That's so awesome because you guys don't need to do that at all, but you take the time to do that and take care of us, and we really appreciate it.
So much. We appreciate it so much.
So thank you guys.
I love it. Paul, you got anything before we got about a minute or so left?
Yeah, when can we expect you guys back?
Ooh, good question to wrap it up.
I'll be back. I mean,
Right.
Well,
Obviously.
we gotta see
I
with
was
Kelsie. We
honestly,
don't know.
I was trying to come back maybe senior night or possibly the tournament time. So I guess you'll just have to find out.
Oh yeah, we can all
Good tease, good tease.
We can all meet up in Vegas
Yeah.
for the tournament. There you go, and it's always a fun time. Now you can
Exactly.
see what it's like for
As a spectator, I know that'll be
courtside.
insane.
yeah, you can be courtside with us.
Be courtside.
Watch out though, it gets a little crazy as you've seen with us.
Yeah,
at
you might see
courtside.
Koo's crazy twin.
And it'll be the last time too for the Big West. Anyways, that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
thing. And moving into the Mountain West later, but yeah, we're just about wrapping it up here. We got 20 seconds left. So again, giving you guys another one last shout out to all the fans.
Thank you guys so much.
We love
wouldn't-
you.
Yeah, we love you. That's all we can say.
All right, and this has been a fun show the last couple of hours, hanging out here with former Rainbow Wahine basketball players MeiLani McBee and Kelsie Imai. Again, if you guys missed any of the show, you can watch it back on our YouTube channel or listen on demand a little later this morning. But for now, we got to go. So for Paul Brecht, I'm Ku'ule, Kelsie and May. Bye!
Your brand new home for OIA Athletics, KGU.